Good morning. It is wonderful to have you with us here at Unity. This morning we're going to touch upon one of those great stories of spiritual growth, the symbols that give us a glimpse into the amazing power and presence of the spiritual self within each of us. As we journey through our service, I invite you to touch that magnificent presence of spirit within you, and we celebrate it with you.
Join us in singing, "We Are One in the Spirit." We are one in the Spirit. We are one in the light. We are one in the Spirit. We are one in the light. We will and they'll know we are family by our love, by our love. Yes, we are Sing with us on Weave Us Together.
Let us stand and sing it.
Weave us together. Weave us together. Weave us together.
Good morning, and as we are woven together, join me in acknowledging Chapel and Dave with members of our band Fusion. And I have to say this with renowned guest drummer James Small. So I have to mention last night was wonderful. And those who stayed the party are still sleeping. My name is Sheila Gautreau. I'm one of your ministers here. Please join me in welcoming our friends online. Turn to the cameras and give them a wonderful hello, hello, hello. We're so delighted to have you with us. If you're ever in the neighborhood, come by and say hello. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. If you are new to Unity, we welcome you to this positive path for spiritual living. That is who we are at Unity. We are also founded on the power of affirmative prayer, the yes action of the mind saying yes to God. And to have an experience of that, let us join with each other and with Silent Unity that has been praying for 125 years in our opening statement. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Let us take that in, feel it to the very depths of our being. And again, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And as we take it in more deeply, breathing it in through our hearts, and allowing it to extend throughout the sanctuary, joining us all together and connecting with our friends online. And once more, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And breathing it in even more deeply and allowing it to extend until it reaches out into the farthest corners of the earth, touching every heart that beats. And we hold this truth as a personal statement for ourselves and for all living things. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Join me. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. Please remain seated and join Chapel and Dave in singing in the silence.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from the world full of chaos and noise. For this
Take that deep breath through your heart. And we continue on in the experience of prayer, breathing in the awareness of this divine love, and guided by our opening affirmation, directed into the ever-growing awareness of the silence. We now open our hearts to a blessing from our heart ministers that Annie will share with us.
This week, we offer a prayer for the victims of the Russian airline tragedy, holding each of them in light, love, and the protection of God. We know that God's light shines the way to unlimited truth for all of those seeking to understand. God's love enfolds those who are grieving the loss of family, friends, and countrymen, bringing comfort in the midst of pain. God's power lifts all of us up to a higher possibility for peace and reconciliation. God's presence calms the fears of the people of Russia and the world. May this tragedy draw each of us closer in the oneness of God, and it is so.
Breathing in that beautiful oneness, breathing in that divine presence, breathing out and gently letting go, we enter into the experience of prayer. That deeper experience where we touch and know this presence living in and through our lives. We take this moment to let a moment of music draw us closer to that very center of our hearts.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still.
So we journey into that beautiful stillness. And we do so by simply knowing that at this moment, this divine presence opens our awareness and takes us deeper into that experience of our oneness with this divine life that right now fills our bodies. This beautiful principle of life that emanates through every cell and system, this principle of wholeness that is in every moment calling us into greater well-being. This principle of love that brings us into harmony with all of life, that opens our hearts as divine goodness fills us, and our hands as we are instruments of this divine love. And so we enter into this beautiful principle that is peace. Peace that is the divine presence everywhere. Peace that is the divine presence within our own hearts. As we experience that peace, our minds do become still. As we experience that peace, our hearts become serene. As we experience that peace, we enter into that beautiful knowingness of our oneness with this infinite love that is God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Mother, Father, God, we experience your presence here and now as this infinite love that flows through our beings. And in experiencing that love, I invite you to join me in simply breathing in and feeling that love filling from your heart, filling your whole body, whole being, as we breathe out and just send that love forth. Breathing in, filling our beings to overflowing, breathing out, and sending this beautiful love out to bless all. Breathing in and filling. Breathing out and blessing. And as we send this love, this powerful, transformative, healing love out into the world, we do take a moment to send this love to our own bodies for healing and well-being. Every cell and system called into its highest. We radiate this love and we send it to each one who is dear to us. We enfold each one of these beautiful beings, holding them in that love, knowing that they are blessed and healed. They are lifted and guided. They are prospered and experience that deep and beautiful peace that is God. Breathing in this love, radiating it through our hearts. We send this love to all who are part of the spiritual community blessing, healing, uplifting, guiding, bringing harmony and peace. We send this beautiful love to all who have brought prayer requests here, for we know with each of those sacred desires of your heart that you are enfolded in divine love and lifted to that which is the highest. And this love fills us each, flowing through our beings. As we breathe out, sending it out across the communities in which we live, out across our nation and on to touch the peoples of the world, bringing peace, bringing peace. And this love flows through our hearts. We send it to all who join us in prayer, whether in mosque or synagogue, temple or church, whether gathered at home or on the hillsides. For in seeking to know you, we are all one. Beloved presence, we breathe in this beautiful love of your being. We breathe it out, sending it to our beloved Mother Earth, bringing balance and harmony to her systems, bringing calm where there is storm, rain where it is dry, bringing blessing to her creatures, and harmony to all upon her. We send this love about the earth that it might touch the heart of every single person in the earth. For, beloved presence, you are this love in every heart. And in this love, we are one. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Please join me. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Once again, radiating that beautiful love together. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world.
Be still and know that I am God. One with this infinite love here within each heart. It is so. Amen.
There is a spacious place inside my heart that waits, wanting you to come and stay.
Wanting you to come and stay.
An empty room inside this house I'm sweeping out, hoping you'll abide always.
Hoping that you'll stay with me.
A sunlight shimmers on a stucco wall, rippling through the leaves.
Rippling through the leaves.
It lights the space that meditation seeks, a quiet place where shadows play. And since you broke my darkness with a golden ray, sunlight that came piercing through.
Sunlight that came piercing through.
I've seen this life was always in disarray. True purpose I just never knew.
Purpose I just never knew.
The dust and cobwebs of confusion celebration gleams, knows it's been prepared for you.
Just for you.
Room in my heart just for you, Lord, in hopes that you always will stay. I've been sweeping the house of my soul, Lord, preparing it day by day. There's a room in my heart just for you, Lord, in the hopes that you'll always stay. Room in my heart just for you, Lord, in hopes that you always will stay. I've been sweeping the house of my soul, Lord, preparing it day by day. There's a room in my heart just for you, Lord, in the hopes that you'll always stay.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Jennifer Hooker, and it's my pleasure to highlight a few of the many upcoming events here at Unity of Walnut Creek. This Wednesday evening, please join Ronnie Farron, forgiveness coach from Marin Unity, who will conduct our Forgiveness Tools class. And our Thanksgiving celebrations will begin on Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve. Please join Reverend David for a very special service of appreciation and give thanks to God for the many forms of goodness that fill our lives. And on Thanksgiving Day, we will once again have our turkey dinner at noon. And this is a fun time with your Unity community, and there will be potluck sign-ups on the patio after the service today and also in the bookstore throughout the week. And now I would like to invite Reverend David to the platform.
Good morning. Now, some of you had the opportunity some months ago to experience Reverend Larry Schneider. We had a whole week where he led us through the mystical experience and how we grow into that within our own lives. Well, when he was there, he kept referring to a very powerful process that he had been through to really bring into clear definition the purpose that is active in our lives at this particular point. And because so many people requested that we get a chance to engage this ourselves, we asked Larry to come back, and he will be here Saturday. It's not a full day. It's a partial day program. But it's the opportunity to really work with someone highly skilled at helping each of us bring that clarity on purpose at this time in your life into very clear definition for ourselves. So beautiful opportunity, and I encourage you to look at those details in the bulletin and take care of it. Now, with Larry being here, okay, we get another great advantage. his wife Paula is coming, and we have been asking Paula for some time to help us with a very special experience. It's the opportunity to get together and dialogue on end-of-life issues. Now, Paula is a hospice nurse. She is also a deeply wise spiritual being, many years in Unity, and she has led these dialogues for a number of years, and they're very powerful to people. Again, it's that chance to get together and consciously ask the questions and explore the things about many of the issues that are present as we deal with the different elements of our society, from effects and needs of family and the medical community, care and responsibility, and all these things from the spiritual to the most physical. So a wonderful opportunity, and there is a limited enrollment for this. So I would encourage you, if you'd like to go ahead and sign up in the Book Center for that experience next Sunday. So beautiful opportunities coming, and you'll get the opportunity to experience Larry very directly. Marvelous spiritual teacher, and really an amazingly inspiring being. So Saturday, Sunday, really good. Thanks.
And to find out more about these and other wonderful activities, please consult your bulletin and or our website. And until you hear the gong, please enjoy a short moment greeting the people immediately around you.
And join us in singing together.
All things are possible for you and me when think you have been cheated by the love you feel you've lost. Well, I know how it feels to be empty, that the price sure ain't worth the cost. But now I'm not feeling sorry. I found love has a source from within.
I see that
Our love mingles to make it so magic, never to vanish again.
Well, I used to think love was magic, like doves being pulled from a hat. Then my illusions were shattered when our love disappeared just like that. Now I'm not feeling sorry.
Not feeling sorry for myself.
From within,
Found love has a source
within. Goes to make it so magic,
never to vanish again. Whoa, whoa, bring love back to where it should be. It's our first source of power. Let it shower from the heavens, a rain of love for us all. Not feeling sorry for myself.
From within,
Love has a source within,
so magic.
never to vanish again.
Whoa, whoa.
Bring love back to where it should be. It's our first source of power. Let it shower from the heavens, a rain of love for us all. If you want love to fulfill you, first it must fill you full. Discover the source that's within you, and life never again will be dull. Then you'll stop feeling sorry. Disappointments will challenge your soul. When defeat is what you are feeling, love will again make you whole. Whoa, whoa, bring love back to where it should be. It's our first source of power. Let it shower from the heavens, a rain of love for us all. A rain of love for us all. A rain of love for us all.
Thank you. Beautiful. Take that deep breath. You ready to go on a journey? So the journey we're going to go on today is one that may take you back a little, back into a time when you were perhaps a tad younger, back into a time where you heard one of those stories that seemed to be about one thing, but you knew it was about something else. And it was obvious, even as you listened to the story. Now, the story that we're going to journey with today is really about a powerful part of our own spiritual growth. Okay, it's about something that happens on that spiral of consciousness where we are ready to take that leap in our spiritual power and awareness, that change of perception that connects us more deeply with the experience of the divine. But it looks a little bit like a fairy tale. The story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Now, you always knew that it was about what was up there. Remember, he had to get up there. Well, remember how it starts. Okay, the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Poor family, widow and her son, not having enough to eat. The mother tells Jack to take the cow into the town and sell it because they don't have enough food and they need the money. So Jack takes the cow into town. Along the way, he runs across this farmer who tells him about these magical beans that are there. So he trades the cow for these magical beans to bring them home. And of course, Mom's a little disappointed. Now, we've all brought magical beans back to Mom, so. But here they are, these worthless beans, and they don't have enough to eat. They go to bed hungry that night. And in her upset, Mom has thrown the beans out the window. But in the morning, when Jack wakes up, he goes out and the beans have taken root and grown, and they've grown into this huge beanstalk that goes way up to the sky. So Jack heads out. He has to know what's there. So he starts to climb the beanstalk. And he goes up and up and up. Now, that's pretty obvious what it's about, don't you think? Okay, we've got our consciousness down here, and we want to find out what's up there. What is that heaven, that greater place where God is? Now remember, this fairy tale was written in the late 1800s. Okay, it comes out of England. It was an agrarian society, and at that time, the perception of heaven was that was the up there where God lived. And there's a whole lot of really poor language in the Bible that supports that. So I'm sure taught within some of the churches there. So coming out, it's a real wonderful way to picture that exploration. So what's up there? Now, remember, as we've talked about these symbolic pictures of our spiritual growth, that the male is thought. Now remember, in most of our stories, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, we've got a female, don't we? It's about that feeling nature of the soul is the feminine symbol. But the masculine symbol is the thought. We have the feeling and the thought. So we're looking at a thought, and so what we're going to do is go find out what is our God thought. What do we think God is? So Jack climbs up, and here's this part of us becoming conscious of our God thought. We get up there. Now, the first thing that he meets as he steps onto this beautiful place, it's lovely. It has wonderful fields. And there's a great castle there. Wow. Power, abundance. And there's a woman walking along. The woman says hello to Jack, and Jack says, is that your castle? I don't know about this place. And the woman explains to him that the castle belonged to a great knight. And he and his lady ruled this land with such love and care. They were so treasured that people brought great gifts from all over the world to acknowledge these wonderful people. But a giant heard about those gifts and was able to get into the castle one night and slew the knight and the family, except that the lady of the castle was off with her new baby son at the nursemaids who lived down in the valley. Now, when that happened, one of the servants escaped from the giant, went to the valley and told the lady of the castle to stay there and not to let anyone know who she was, because the giant was determined to find her and end the life of her and her son. And then it turns out this lady that Jack had met revealed to him that she was a fairy. And she had made sure that he found these magic beans. Well, you knew it was a spiritual tale when you heard about magic, right? Okay, that's part of the clue, because it's that transformative element that we find within the spiritual self. But brought by the fairy. Now, of course, fairies are angel symbols. Okay, so they're part of that symbol of greater wisdom and intelligence now guiding, in this case, the Jack within us, this part of ourselves that wants to explore and be conscious of that which is greater. So the fairy tells Jack, your mother was the lady of the castle, and you were that baby. You are the heir of this land, of this castle, and of all the great gifts that are here. And it's your job to slay the giant and take back the castle. Great news, lousy job. Okay, now what happens is we've wandered into a beautiful understanding of our spiritual relationship. Because as a spiritual being, as children of God, we are heir to all that is the divine. One of the great and one of my favorite mystics is Dr. Emily Cady. And she captures it in these words. She says, do you stop to think, really to comprehend, what it means to be heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ? It means every man is the inlet and may become the outlet of all there is in God. Wow. Every man is the inlet and may become the outlet of all there is in God. It means that all that God is and has is really for us, His only heirs, if we only know how to claim that inheritance. Jack and the Beanstalk is the story of how to claim that inheritance. So Jack has his understanding that all that is there is his, but right now he's got to deal with a giant. Okay, now let's look at that giant, because that giant is a mean and cruel thing. And it's big and powerful. That giant is our God thought. Okay, off there, somewhere else, out there in heaven. Don't you wish we all had beanstalks? Get up to heaven and find out all that that's about. Off there in heaven, power, abundance, authority, ruling that kingdom. But did you ever read that phrase, fear God? Unfortunately, we do. It becomes a part of the consciousness that is associated with our growth through this body, in that we perceive ourselves as separate, and that creates the consciousness of fear within us, of power, and we feel vulnerable and not powerful. And like we don't have the ability to get, and there's this divine that withholds from us, that creates pain and suffering. Have you ever asked the question when something bad happens, how could God let that happen? Like God's going, zap? What kind of a God is that? Just an ugly giant? When that shows up in your life, why me? Zap. Ugly giant. So we, as growing spiritual beings, get to take on our ugly giant God. Now what happens is Jack goes to the castle, and he's captured by the giantess. Okay, and the giantess wants to protect him from the giant because the giantess wants to enslave him. Now, remember, with the giantess, suddenly we're dealing with the feminine again. So we're talking about our feeling nature. So this is our feeling of fear. Anyone ever been enslaved by your feeling of fear? Oh, yeah. This is one of those stories. Okay, but she also has to protect him because she doesn't want him to be eaten by the giant. So when the giant comes, Jack has put it there in the closet so he can hide from the giant. And of course the giant comes and smells Jack, and we get probably the only thing that's easy to remember is the fee fi fo fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman, because it's an English story. and so the giantess takes and distracts the giant with a wonderful meal, and the giant eats, and then he asks for the hen. And so the giantess brings to him the hen that lays the golden egg. And he commands the hen, lay your golden egg. And she does. And so there are several of the golden eggs, and then overcome by the great dinner, the giant falls asleep, and as he's snoring, Jack's able to sneak out of the closet, and he grabs the hen and runs down the beanstalk, taking the hen that lays the golden egg to his mother. Now, it's an obvious symbol of prosperity. Remember, we are back in a story that evolved in the 1800s, and abundance at that time, success at that time, was agrarian. And so the hen is the symbol of that potential for great success. And within that potential, then, there is abundance. There is all that we need to succeed. In our spiritual terms, we call this divine idea. The ability to grasp the ideas of abundance and put them at work in our lives, in our careers, in our family, in our relationships. This value that we're able to use to bring forth goodness in our lives. So this part of us that is Jack has been able to take this gift of divine idea, this great wisdom and abundance, and brought it down to where he lives, down at the cottage. As we grow, we begin to partake some of these ideas of this divine presence. But the giant's still there. Kind of feel like we stole it from him, really. So Jack has to go back up. Now, the second time Jack goes up, again, he's enslaved by the giantess, and the gold is brought out. The gold that was his father's gold that came with the castle. And the giant counts the gold there on the table, falls asleep, and Jack takes the gold and takes it down. So that we go then from the ideas of abundance into the present abundance within our lives. The ability to receive that good and let it be there as part of what we begin to take from this exchange with this divine idea, with this perception that we have of God and the infinite power and abundance that's God. And then the third gift. So the third time up, again, Jack is enslaved. And after dinner, what is brought is a beautiful harp. And the giant commands the harp to play its exquisite music. And the harp plays this beautiful music. Now, the heart is the symbol of love, the harmonizing power of the divine, that which brings all things into harmony. And so Jack, when the giant falls asleep, Jack grabs the heart, but as he's running across the threshold of the castle, the harp cries out, "Master!" And the giant awakes. Now what happens is Jack speaks to the harp and tells the harp that he is the heir, that the harp really belongs to him. So for the first time, Jack claims his role as the rightful heir to the abundance and the love of God. Okay? And that begins to happen in our journey. But the giant's now awake. And Jack runs to the beanstalk and goes down, and he gives the harp to his mother, who gives him the axe, that he then cuts the beanstalk, and the giant falls and is no more. The love has to be brought into our feeling nature before it has the power to destroy the God thought of fear. No longer does fear govern that relationship. We now know the love. We have the love. And that love becomes our new reality. To a degree. So let me tell the story in a different way. This is actually the journey of someone going through the experience that we're talking about here. Now, the person this is about is a woman whose name is Tony Bain. And Tony is a Unity minister, and she was leading a training that I've been in for the last several days. Wonderful, wise, spiritually mature, delightful woman. And she captured her experience of going through this in a book called The Power of Yes. And she talks about how when she was in her career, she was doing well, and she had an accident. And in the accident, she went through traumatic brain injury. Now, the result of that was that she lost much of the capacity of her short-term memory. Imagine losing your short-term memory. Wow. Very difficult experience. And so she's in this experience for some weeks or months, and suddenly she does something. She stops and looks honestly at herself. And she recognizes that what she has been doing in this time since this happened has been perfecting the art of complaining. Anybody pretty good at that? And so what happens is she begins to say, okay, instead of asking, why me? Now you understand what why me is. That's a complaint that says, God, you blew it. Infinite intelligence screwed up in my life. Okay, and we're complaining. But what happens is, so she taking stock of this, she says, I chose to stop asking, why did this happen to me? I began to think of right questions that would move me into a new frame of reference. When in meditation I asked the question, what do I really want for my life? The answer I received was something strange. I realized that I wanted healing. But I wanted a healing that could be an upliftment for my soul and move me towards a greater awareness of spiritual growth and maturity. In other words, she was ready to climb the beanstalk. She was ready to grow into a new state of consciousness, to take on those things that were limiting the goodness in her life. Now, what Tony did was she focused, and her way of entering into that castle, her way of taking a hold of these gifts that Jack is about, was through her experience of writing. Because she, even with her injury, she could take there and let go of any sense of the complaint or worry and just be aware of right now. Focus on that inspiration. Focus on the truth of this divine presence. Focus on this goodness. And then she would experience this flow. And she says, each time I wrote, I was sending a healing message throughout my cellular structure. As each ode or poem revealed itself, simultaneously there was a peeling away of another layer of unconscious muck and mire, old stuff, her giant, that had been running my life for years. So even though intellectually sometimes we think we don't have a giant, sometimes we're hanging on to it anyhow. It was through this that she was able to bring the wholeness into her body, into her experience. Not something out there to be asked for, but something within herself to be experienced. Now, in this, she was able to take hold of the experience of that love, both conceptually, but by really entering into and experiencing it through her focus and bringing it into her feeling nature. Again, handing that love to the mother that could take away this threatening perception of power and of life. Now, when Jack is there at the bottom of the beanstalk that has been cut, and the giant's dead, and the fairy again appears to him. Says to him, bury the giant, but come with me, because we have to go take care of the giantess. Okay, remember, the giant was the thought that we held, but the giantess is the feeling. So even though we realize there is no truth in this, very often we need to confront those remnants of that feeling of being powerless instead of the heir to all that power, of being poor instead of the heir to all that abundance, of being ill instead of the heir to the wholeness. Okay, so what happens is the fairy takes Jack through the village, and in the village, she is able to tell the villagers that this is the rightful heir. So Jack is there. It's that picture of us really speaking to that whole being that we are and saying, this can be no more. This is who I am. This is what I am. I claim it within my mind, within my feeling. And I know it's truth. And with that knowing, with the town coming with him to the castle, then what happened was, in fleeing, the giantess fell, and that ended her life, because the false feeling cannot remain when we become united within ourselves. An amazing experience, and to step into knowing that we are the heir, we are the inlet and the outlet of all that is God. Jesus had another phrase for it. He said, the Father and I are one. Not God is separate. The Father and I are one. Our spiritual self. The Father and I are one. But the way that I hear it when I think of Jack and the Beanstalk is, I am one with the goodness of God. Because that's what we're letting in, isn't it? That which each of the gifts are, letting ourselves receive, become the inlet and the outlet of these amazing gifts, the power, the love, the abundance of God. I am one with the goodness of God. Join me. I am one with the goodness of God. Feel that goodness. Again, I am one with the goodness of God. Beautiful truth, the power to stand and let that giantess go. Once again, I am one with the goodness of God. Knowing that truth, may all your giants come tumbling down. Bless you.
I ask everyone to please take a connection card from the seat pockets in front of you. And we invite everyone to please take a moment to fill out this card. And with this card, you can request prayer support for someone or something in your life. In addition, our heart ministers are available after the service for that wonderful experience of personal prayer support, and they are the ones wearing the lavender stoles. And at any time, you could submit a prayer request from our website. Our spiritual focus this week is, I am one with the goodness of God. And the ushers will receive your card with the offering toward the end of the music. It's time for our prosperity celebration. For credit card donations, there are envelopes in the seat pockets on the clipboards in front of you. And for those of you watching at home, just click on the donate button on our Watch Live page. As Unity's co-founder, American mystic Charles Fillmore said, God is the source of a mighty stream of substance, and you are the tributary of that stream, a channel of expression. Blessing the substance increases its flow. I invite you to take your tithe or offering in your hand and be aware that God is the source of all your good. Please repeat our affirmation with me together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
So I'm going to need a little help. We'll let you know. You'll see the words up on the screen. This is a beautiful old song from the Southern Gospel Church, written by the great Thomas A. Dorsey, the guy that wrote Precious Lord, Take My Hand. Mahalia Jackson took it over, and we're going to have a little fun with it. I'm gonna live the life I sing about in my song. I'm gonna stand for right and always shun the wrong. If in a crowd, if all alone, out on the street or in my home, I'm gonna live the life I sing about in my song. Well, every day, everywhere, in the busy thoroughfare, folks may watch me, some may spot me, say I'm foolish, but I don't care. I can sing one thing and then live another, be a saint by day and a devil undercover. I'm gonna live the life I sing about in my song. Tell us about it, Dave.
I'm gonna live the life I sing about in my song.
Sing about in my song.
I'm gonna stand for right and always shun the wrong.
Always shun the wrong.
If in a crowd,
If in a crowd,
or I'm alone,
or alone,
on the streets, or in my home,
or in my home,
I'm gonna live
the life
I sing about
in my song. Play it for us. If at day, if at night, I must always step in the light. Some mistake me, underrate me, say I'm foolish, but I don't care. I can't go to church and shout all day Sunday and go out and get drunk and make hell all day Monday. Gotta live the life I sing about in my song. Everybody, I'm gonna live the life I sing about in my song. I'm gonna stand for right, and always shun the wrong.
I'm gonna shun the wrong.
Well, if in a crowd, if I'm alone, out on the street, or in my home, I'm gonna live the life I sing about in my song.
Gonna live the life I sing about in my song.
I'm gonna live the life I sing about.
I'm gonna stand for right and always shun the wrong.
Always shun the wrong.
If in a crowd, I'm alone, or on the street,
or in my home,
I'm gonna
live the life I sing about in my song. I'm gonna live the life I sing about in my song.
Share our blessing together. Children, you are loved, special, and important. The light of God shines through you. And let's take hands and share together our prayer of protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And our peace song. You are the love and the light and the peace in the earth right now. So let it shine and have fun.
Gonna live the life I sing about in my song. I'm gonna stand for right, always shun the wrong. If in a crowd, if all alone, if out on the street or in my home, I'm gonna live the life I sing about in my song. For every day, everywhere, on the busy thoroughfare, folks may watch me, some may spot me, say I'm foolish, but I don't care. I can sing one thing and then live another, be a saint-mad bear and a devil undercover. I gotta live the life I sing about in my song. The life I sing about in my song. I'm gonna stand for right and always shun the wrong. The crowd, if I'm alone on the street or in my home, I'm gonna live the life I sing about in my song, in my song.